Coming soon to theaters.
You have a debt to pay. You owe Davy Jones your soul. That was the agreement. Time's up. You're a marked man, Jack Sparrow.
On deck, all hands! Scary! High mastiff! Moving!
I was nothing more than an almost innocent bystander.
You won't be able to talk your way out of this one.
Jack Sparrow is a dying breed. Jack must find a place in the new world or perish.
What about Jack? I can't leave without him! Never mind, let's go!
Coming soon to own on DVD.
Welcome to the bottom of the world, Doc.
Go any further south, you'll fall off the planet.
In Antarctica, the most isolated region on Earth, survival expert Jerry Shepard and the crew of the United States Research Base are about to embark on the last mission of the season.
Dr. McLaren needs to get to Mount Melbourne.
There's only one way to make that trip, and that's with the dogs.
The dogs.
On lead, we got my best girl, Maya. This is Shorty, all brawn and no brain. But we love him. That's Max. He's still in training. The granddaddy of the bunch, old Jack. You in or out, buddy?
Translation?
That'd be out. We got the twins, Julie, Truman, the gray one, Shadow. Where are we going? Dry Valleys?
Yeah, like the dogs know where they're going.
You going to Melbourne?
That's incredible.
All right, team, last hike of the season. Hike! Hike! Doc, don't move. You're outside the safety zone. Doc! Doc! Easy, Maya. Take it to him. Hike!
Dr. McLaren needs proper medical attention.
What are we gonna do about the dogs?
We can only carry what we can. We can fly right back, bring the dogs out.
I'll be back. I promise.
Inspired by a true story.
The storm of the century is hitting.
How are we gonna get the dogs?
On Disney DVD.
Nobody flies back, not in this weather.
Those dogs are my family. We can't just leave them out there.
8 heroes will be stranded at the bottom of the world. And as they make their way across the frozen wilderness, all they can count on is each other.
Never underestimate any living spirit's will to survive, especially when they're surrounded by family.
And the one man
I gotta get back there.
will stop at nothing to bring them home.
I owe it to him.
From Walt Disney Pictures comes the most incredible story of survival, friendship.
They saved my life. These 8 amazing dogs.
And adventure.
Let's go!
Ever told.
You gotta take chances for the things you care about.
8 Below. Inspired by a true story.
In the city of dreams.
Santiago, what are you doing?
Santiago Munez had a day job and a night job.
Hey, boss. I've been a busboy now for 6 months. Why can't I be a waiter?
This Chinese restaurant. You're not Chinese.
But every other moment, he lived for the game.
He's quite a player.
What's your name, son?
Santiago Muñez. If you get yourself to England, Newcastle United will give you a trial. That's a big club. Very big club.
It's okay to have dreams, son, but people like us have to work for a living.
There's always plan B. We win the lottery.
Now, for his family,
You deserve this chance, Santiago. Take it.
he'll pursue a dream 6,000 miles from home.
I have a tryout for Newcastle United.
You want to lay off the black pudding?
What is it exactly?
You don't want to know.
He's jet-lagged, nervous. He's never seen mud before.
Maybe you don't have the stamina for the English game.
Adios, amigo.
I'll be better tomorrow, I promise.
It's not going to be a tomorrow, Santiago.
He's grown up in poverty and hardship, and his only way out is his skill with the ball.
Onez, just wanted to see what it felt like to be on this field.
You think you deserve it?
I know I do.
From Touchstone Pictures,
It is now quite a day for this young man.
one man's extraordinary journey
That's my son. That's my boy, Santiago.
is about to begin. Kuno Becker. Goal. The dream begins.
Mr.
Douglas.
As a lawyer, Dave Douglas has no rival.
You guys see the trial in the evening news? Great shot of your dad on Channel 8.
As a father,
Josh is flunking math.
Okay, great.
he has no clue. But an unlikely visitor
You're so cute.
There's a dog in the kitchen.
with an unbelievable power is about to change his life in ways he never could have imagined.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Is that me? I'm not a dog. I'm clearly in a dream. Just gotta wake up. Oh! All right. I'm a dog.
Now,
Last night I turned into a dog. Then I turned back into being human.
he can't control it. But seeing the world from a new perspective is opening his eyes to everything he's been missing.
There's nothing more important to me than family.
Honey, he's really a wonderful father. You know, just have a very normal lifestyle.
On Disney DVD.
No, bad doggy!
I am Dad.
Bingo. The whole world is going to the dogs. Tim Allen.
Sid. I meant the dog.
The Shaggy Dog.
Is there anyone who has not sniffed my butt?
played basketball.
People outside this gym, they don't think we got a chance this season playing with a bunch of players none of the big schools wanted. People outside this.
Yeah, but who's counting?
It's my house. Bit dirty, needs a spot of paint, but it's my house.
Yeah, all you need are some players to help you out.
I just can't wait to hear the roar of Division I crowd, feel the butterflies in my belly, win a Division I game.
Find a Division I wife?
I already got that, right?
Rise and shine. We're gonna have some fun. El Paso style. You're too young to be wasting all this time sleeping. Come on. Come on.
Hell, Ross.
I'm gonna teach you something constructive. What are you doing? Here, hold this, Big Daddy. I'll show you how to use that in a few minutes. Get your clothes on. All right, boys, the bus is outside. Come on, you're gonna have a lot of fun. A lot of fun, all right? Austin? Little Low, where you at? Come on, come on, come on. Wake up. Wake up. Get in and get some clothes on. We're going frog hunting.
But certainly they don't give you these kinds of awards at the beginning of your career. So I appreciate it very much, and I thank you very, very much. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Coach, aren't some of the special boys today also Negroes? Why won't you recruit them?
Where are you from, son?
New York.
Well, I get your innuendo if you're worried about that. I got it pretty good. You don't give a damn about whether who I've recruited or what my plans are or what I'm trying to do at the university.
President Oswald has specifically asked you to try to integrate this team, even just to put one on the bench.
I'll tell you something. I am not going to recruit a player to put him on the bench. If I recruit a boy, he's going to play basketball.
But don't you think in these times integration is more important than winning a basketball game?
This may shock you, son, but I'm a basketball coach, and there's nothing more important to me than winning basketball games. And any great coach will tell you the same thing. There's this boy out there in Texas.
Texas Western, Don Haskins.
This fella. Well, he goes all over hell and gone now in the streets and the byways to induce people to come to school. And I don't know what kind of inducements he's using. Many of these players didn't intend to come to college at all, but he's gotten down there. And why do you think he brought them down to that school? Do you think he brought them down to integrate? I'll tell you why he brought them down there, to win basketball games. And if he's not a liar, he'll tell you the same thing himself. I don't like, by the way, this kind of recruitment.
$10, please.
Hey, congratulations. Boy, you did a good job. Good job. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you much.
Hold it. Hold it. Ninth floor. Well, I don't know about you fellas, but I could use a drink. Sip.
Oh, no, thank you.
I'll drink with you.
Perhaps the game has passed me by.
9th floor.
Coach Young. People outside the
We had a strong leader in Coach Haskins that, in his own tenacious way, kept us together and helped us to grow.
The most important thing to me that I learned from him is really just a work ethic.
He's a great person just to talk to and just to be around.
I think he was a perfectionist. He knew how he wanted it done, and the young men found out real soon how that worked.
I don't think there's ever been a better basketball coach.
Don Haskins, I'm the coach over at Texas Western. Just wanted to introduce myself.
Played AAU basketball for the Artesia Travelers in the National Industrial Basketball League. The team from Artesia dropped out, and all of a sudden, as a 23-year-old guy, what are you going to do? I never thought about it. It scared me to death, and I started thinking, and my wife said, why don't you become a coach? And I knew she was telling me that because she knew I didn't know anything about anything else. So I went over to this little town of Benjamin, 230 people, and I started running the same drills that we had at Oklahoma A&M. And I went to a bigger school, a town of about 400, Headley, Texas, for the next 4 years. Here in El Paso, there's two men instrumental in hiring me.
Now, my basketball philosophy...
Mr. Haskins, you know, we're a small school, and we can't pay very much. So we're going to need you to live in the men's dorm with your family and keep those boys in line over there. So, how's it sound?
Yeah, that's what it takes to coach Division I basketball. That's all right with me.
We were just thrilled to get to come to El Paso. It was a rare opportunity for someone in high school to get to come to a college, and this was just beautiful to us. It was just nice to have neighbors, meaning the athletes and the wonderful people here in El Paso who made us feel so welcome.
This is where he's gonna be living.
Hey, Coach! Rolf Moore, team trainer and spiritual advisor.
We're gonna need some of that.
I had the most wonderful first meeting with Coach Haskins. It was 1961. He had just taken the job as basketball coach at Texas Western College. And I was a young sports writer then, and I was sitting in my office at the El Paso Herald-Post, and all of a sudden, these two doors swing wide open. Here's this giant man with blonde hair looking down at me. He says, "Hi, I'm the new basketball coach at Texas Western College. Let's go have a beer."
Eddie Mullins, our sports information director. Eddie was great at similes, nicknames, Big Daddy Latin, The Shadow, The Scoops. A little later on, Nate Archibald's Nate the Skate, and it goes on and on and on. So one day, he comes up with a bear, and I didn't like it that much.
And I think the bear just came from him just growling every time at the way you were playing. You could, you can come out of the game thinking that you were playing great, and you get over to that bench, and the bear attacks you.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
I never seen a coach that could walk out on his own court and not get a technical. He walks on the court halfway on the court. I mean, he's on the court and would not get a technical in the whack.
Well, I think people measure toughness in coaching as a great thing. Bear Bryant, Bill Parcells, Bobby Knight. I think he makes all those guys look like a choir boy. I really do. I mean, I've seen it. I've heard Bob Knight say it. He's can be that way, but can be the most sensitive, giving, caring guy on the flip end.
From the time when I was very young, I was one of those kids under the basket who would return the ball when the team was warming up and throw the ball back to the team. And there's something about him. He's just one of those people who has that gift, that presence.
People ask us, what is the hardest game that you ever played? And we all said practice. Practice was the hardest game. People ask, how long did you practice? We practiced as long as Coach Haskins wanted us to practice. When he got tired, we stopped playing.
I speak, you listen. I don't want to hear can't or won't or coach, I'm bleeding. I don't want to hear anything except a basketball bounce. You play basketball my way. My way's hard.
First time I ever arrived in El Paso, within 30, 40 minutes, I had my sneakers on and we were out going up and down the floor.
Y'all are gonna burn holes in your shoes today. You look like you're running in mud, son.
We practiced so long that the cafeteria would close up on us and he'd have to call over there to have them make us some sandwiches.
Many a time we'd get off the plane coming back home at 10, 12 o'clock at night, and we'd go straight to the gym. And we would work out then, too.
I mean, there's only two ways you could do this, his way and his way. Water breaks, never heard of them.
We didn't have water for about 17 years when we moved to the new place where, we started out in Old Memorial Gym. Tim Floyd was my assistant, and we went to the new place, and Tim said, "Coach, I'm having a hard time getting players because they, we didn't drink water during practice." So we finally let them have water over at the new place, and I didn't like it, but probably wasn't a bad idea. I think if you have hard practices, players welcome games.
What Don instilled in his players is hard work, and you don't get hard work by being a nice guy. So he had to push the limits for them, but he was always fair and fair-minded. And even to this day, they call him Coach Haskins, and they have the reunion, and they have the enormous amount of respect for him.
He spilled a lot of sweat on this floor, and it's gonna pay off. Now, I know it seems I've been hard on you for no reason, but I've been tough because I know how good you can be. You're talented, you're disciplined, and you care about the guy standing next to you. And that's how we're gonna win starting tomorrow night. So let's go out there and let's play Texas Western basketball. Let's make that mean something.
The Kentucky-Texas Western basketball game in 1966 was the most important game in basketball history because what it did, it gave these other coaches who deep down inside of them wanted to do something similar to what Don Haskins did, it gave them the opening to do that.
Tonight I made a decision that we're going to put a stop to it forever. 5 starters, 2 subs, 40 minutes, 7 players. I'm only going to play the black players in the final game tomorrow. Just you.
You know, God has an incredible way of creating the event at the appropriate time, you know, that will change history. And he decided the venue of basketball, or the venue of an arena with, 19,000 fans on national television would be a good time to take care of this problem. And I think it was about finding the most talented players and making a team out of them. That's what Haskins' greatness was at that time, and that's where his courage came from.
He changed the game. He changed the game throughout the South and opened opportunities for blacks and other minorities throughout the country. And he'll be remembered as not only a giant as a coach, but as one of the greatest, most influential persons in the country so far as race relations go.
What you see is what you get with Don Haskins. He's not a cookie-cutter coach. What's right is right, what's wrong is wrong. There is no gray, there is no being tricky along the way. And the bottom line with him is, who are my 5 best players? And imagine that, playing your 5 best players.
Every one of these players you're looking at is colored, Don. How many are you talking about recruiting?
We need 7 players on this team who can put it in the hole and rebound. Now, if they're colored, well, fine.
I don't know about Don Haskins being a crusader, but Don Haskins is a good person. He got the players that he thought could work within his system, and that's what he did. Not necessarily as being a crusader, he likes to win basketball games. So he got the players that could win the basketball games for him within his system.
All right, Hill, you play your game, and you play my game.
Don Haskins lives and dies with basketball.
I love this game.
We do not back down here ever!
And I think that's what made him so successful, that he's all engulfed in it. He was an immediate success. When he came here, Texas Western College had never won more than 15 games in a season. The very first year, he won 18 games. The next year, he won over 20. And from then on, he went on and won 7 Western Athletic Conference championships, 719 games, 14 NCAA appearances. What a fantastic record. And of course, he's been honored all kinds of ways. Here in El Paso Athletic Hall of Fame. His streets have been named after him. The Special Event Center where the miners play was named the Don Haskins Center.
The other major career highlight was when he was inducted into the Naismith Hall of Fame in '97, which is long overdue. There's a lot of coaches today that get 500 wins and they're inducted into the Hall of Fame. So that was a long time in coming.
Being in the Hall of Fame at a tiny place like Texas El Paso, I think, is a statement in and of itself. This was a man who fit the community he was in, the cactus, the desert, the coyotes, the rattlesnakes, pickup trucks, the boots. As a result, he turned down the multitude of offers that he had to move on just because he was happy, and money and all those other things didn't mean as much as knowing where he belonged.
And I hope that, if anything, he will be remembered as a guy who cared about the game, cared about all the kids that he coached, and he wanted to win and win the right way.
With Coach, what stands out, he was always true. He cared for his team, and I appreciate that, Coach.
It's his story. You know, we were an instrument, and we enjoyed what we did, but the greatness is the man himself. He's the one. He's the one that the story's all about. I can't be around Mr. Haskins today without learning something new, you know, as a man.
Willie Worsley was one of the most competitive people I had ever seen. He was strong, little bitty guy, and probably he could dunk because somebody told him that he couldn't dunk at his size.
Bobby Joe was the heart and soul of this team. I loved that guy. It was a lot of years before I saw anybody do some things with the ball like Bobby Joe. And he could handle the ball, he could dish it, and he could shoot it. He was a hell of a ball player.
He could walk in the room and he'd always have something to say that would break the ice or relieve the tension or make it just a brighter day or something like that.
Jerry Armstrong, hey, hard nose. Tough defensive ball player, believe me.
David Lattin, Big Daddy D, he was an intimidator. He had that look that would intimidate you. He was big, he was strong, but he also was a good guy.
Willie KJ was a 100% goal. I remember him when the games were down, we would always depend on him to do whatever he needed to do. In fact, until I really studied the film later, I just didn't realize how important he really was to our team, but he was magnificent.
He could play defense, and if you couldn't play for defense, you weren't going to play for Coach Haskins. But Neville was a spiritual leader. He kept the team together a lot.
Orson Artis was the best shooting guard I have seen, and he shot better under pressure. Orson Artis was a person who you couldn't rattle.
Harry Floyd, tough rebounder, automatic, tough rebounder. He gets all the balls.
Louis Bedoin, Flip was the comic relief of our team. He was a good basketball player who, if he had went to Arizona State or one of those schools that ran, Flip would have averaged 20 points a game.
David was a very determined player. David had a lot of self-discipline within himself.
Dick Myers was a hard worker. He pushed us every day in practice. Dick Myers' mindset was, if you're going to play in front of me, then you're going to play hard every day. Because if you don't, I want that spot. That was his attitude.
Togo's Togo. I don't know what else to say about Togo. He's one of a kind. He's a great guy. Great guy.
We experienced a lot of racism during that season. We went to places like West Texas State, and we had a lot of racism there. I mean, people would call you names, and people would spit at you, and people would try to trip you up because they had this real narrow sidelines. And it was a time in our lives when we should have had the best time of our lives. But it was a time in our lives when we were feeling so much pressure as far as the racial pressure that we weren't having a good time. It was more of a job than it was recreation.
The fans were white, the referees were white, the reporters were white, the guys serving the hot dogs were white. And the initial thought was, do we really have a chance here, And my thought was, first, what am I going to do to stay in the game? Because knowing that if I foul out and get in foul trouble, then I could not help my team, and we had a good chance to lose.
They would call us, the fans would call us niggers, coons, bucks, all kind of derogatory names. And even now, when I think about it, it draws up stuff within me it doesn't feel good.
I guess the one story that really stuck in my head is when someone said that, just stay up with them. Just stay up with that Texas Western team. Because if you get them on the hot line, they're gonna fold. Black athletes cannot hold up under pressure. Just stay close to them. And when I heard that particular thing, or the things that they said we could not do, I didn't say, well, I'm gonna go out there and show them, because we have done those things so many times. That's what got us there, showing the poise, showing the character. We were not an I team, we were a we team. Everybody knew what the other person had to do. We knew that Bobby Joe Hill was our leader. We knew that David Lattin, that was the powerhouse to our team. We knew that Harry Flournoy was the big rebounder. We knew that Austin Artis was the smooth shooter. And I hope they knew that when my turn came to go on the floor, that there was a job for me to do. And we had so much confidence in each other. That's what made that team such a good, strong team. The athletes of colors, we were very unique. Personalities were different, but there we were a team. And today, thanks be to God, we still have that same type of a feeling for each other. We are that we team, not the I team. That's what makes a championship team.
2 or 3 years after that game, the old Southwest Conference didn't have a black player. And about 3 years after that game, I'm looking at the evening paper, and they got an all-conference team, and they're all black. So that made me kind of happy.
I feel that this game, was probably the Emancipation Proclamation of 1966. I mean, I truly believe that it had the same kind of impact, at least in sports.
I've heard people ask the question if Coach Haskins purposely played all of his black players and he could have played anybody he wanted to. He was a coach. And my answer and my response to that is yes. He did it on purpose. He knew what he was doing, and I think he did it to prove a point. And I'm sure if you ask him that right now, he'll say, and I've heard him say it hundreds of times, that I played my best players. And isn't that what a coach is supposed to do? It is supposed to play his best players. Well, he did that, but he could have played anybody he wanted to that night. In fact, we only played with about 6 players because Harry Flournoy had a bad knee and only played just a few seconds of the first quarter, and that was it. We played the entire game with about 6 players.
We was in before the game, and he had called the starting 5 out, championship game. And he said, Willie, you gonna guard so-and-so and so-and-so. Now you realize there was 2 Willie on the basketball team. He already called Bobby Joe's name out, already called Austin Artis, and there was the guards. And I went to my Willie Cager, which my roommate said, go ahead, room, go get him. He said, no, you little one. So when he said that, I didn't get a chance to get nervous. I was excited about it. I was thrilled to be there, and fortunate to play the whole game. So the game itself was a surprise that I started. He didn't let me know it until almost tip-off. So I was a little nervous about that, more so than anything else.
I think that famous 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and there's no chance for them to come back. It was, we are the champions. Not that we got you, Whitey's. It wasn't all about that. We were the champions. We won and you saw how we raised our hands, how we hugged. The first time I ever seen Coach Haskins, I don't think he smiled, but he just stood up. This was something great. He was not thinking about, look what I did. I'm a legend. I changed the era of the game. We were champions. We were champions. And that's all that counted.
You didn't really go oof until right at the end, but I think with about 10 minutes to go in the game, we got the feeling that this is going to happen. We're going to be able to do this. And you really first started feeling that when Bobby Joe pulled off the back-to-back steals. We took the lead, we never relinquished it, but we never had a big lead. I mean, it was always within reach. And so there was doubt out there. And I think Kentucky cut that lead to 1 or 2 points a couple of times. But I think the feeling was it was destiny. It was going to happen that we were going to pull it off. And I think that probably set in about 8, 9, 10 months to go in the game that we felt like we were going to hang on and win it.
Well, first I closed my mouth. You know, couldn't believe it. That's the first thing. The second thing I wanted to do was that we hug everybody. You know, it may sound funny, we kiss everybody on the cheeks now. You know, but we hug everyone. And Butch came and got me and took me to get the net down. I've always wanted to be the one to take the nets down on a championship game. I did so. But if you look at it, we didn't cut things. I unfolded all of them. Now, I was lightweight, lighter than right now. So, and I still have the net. I refused to get rid of that net. That was what I wanted to do. And then I went and found my family, you know, my friends, and just gave them some love.
Well, I remember going over and sitting down on the bench and just, you know, putting my head in my hands, and it just came out. I just, you know, I mean, the tears were real.
No one believed it, but when the game was over, I sat on the bench, and the first thing I thought about was being there again next year. Everybody was jumping up and down, cutting nets down. I could have done that, you know. Somebody's gonna tell me I can't cut the nets down. I don't think so. I sat on the bench and watched guys do that, grab the trophy, hold it over the head. I was thinking about next year. I was thinking about being there next year. That was my initial thought after the game was over, and that's all. I mean, I didn't want to take anything from anybody. You know, my players. I love my players. I thought it was great for them that we were winning. I just didn't want to take anything from anybody. I just wanted to sit there and relax and think about it and be back next year.
And when we flew in, it was miraculous because we chartered American, I think, and they had the TVs on, and then they had the TV on the ground, seeing us fly in, and then we could see the people that were there. There were thousands. I mean, literally thousands. And we got off the plane. We're pretty tired because we flew in early, you know, an early flight out the next morning, and from the airport, we came down Montana, all the way downtown, went around the square downtown in El Paso, which was miraculous, and there were thousands. I mean, everybody in town probably showed up. They were 4 and 5, 6 deep all the way, and that's probably 6 miles from the airport to downtown.
The tone of the fan mail, you know, after we won it, my office was right here, and his right across the hall. And they brought those, a lot of that stuff was stacked in my little office in big old black trash bags. And so much of it was hate mail, not only from people who lived in the South, let's say, but we had from the North. So it was just, be damned if you do and be damned if you don't.
That really destroyed me. I couldn't understand how people could think like that. I think some of the letters I got that hurt me the worst were a couple of from black leaders who said I was an exploiter. I think that bothered me more than the others.
Well, you know, he was so discouraged at times. One time we were talking, and he said, you know, I wish we'd have finished second, because there was so much hatred in those letters. It got to the point where we didn't even read them, you know, because it was so bad.
You had a lot of African American people who would approach me. None in El Paso. This was in other places. This was when I went home to Gary, Indiana. When I went to Hartford, Connecticut, Detroit, Michigan. It was, you guys were just Uncle Toms. You guys, they didn't let you play like you wanted to play. And I tell them, we played exactly like we wanted to play. We played like we knew we had to play to win the game. But we kept hearing that Uncle Tom reference from other African Americans, and it hurt. That hurt more than the word nigger and coon. That hurt more than that.
at that point, you know, after the game, there were a lot of things that happened to teams that were successful in winning the championship. A lot of things didn't happen to us. There was no talk about in the newspaper about 5 black players being successful in winning a championship against 5 white players. They didn't talk. There was no mention of that.
The year after, we noticed more of these things than we did the year that we were winning. We had eggs thrown at us at SMU. We had some incidents come up where we had to be, you know, with some escorts around just as a protection standpoint. That didn't happen the year that we were winning the championship, but it happened the year after. And then other things started coming up. There was that time, you know, it was in the 60s, and that was what was going on at the time.
Bobby Joe Hill was, in my opinion, up to that point, and maybe even up to today, the best guard, the quickest guard I had ever seen. And those were clean steals. The first steal, he had help, but the second steal, he did it on his own. He was so quick that opposing guards didn't even want to handle the basketball. Bobby Joe Hill was one of the greatest guards that ever played the game.
I had enormous respect for Bobby Joe Hill. He was a very close friend and a teammate who I felt very comfortable with. I didn't have to worry if Bobby was going to be there to play. I knew he would come to play every night to win. And if any guy that I'd like to be down in Pittsburgh in the dark, somebody at my back, I'd like to have Bobby Joe Hill. He's a guy I loved and respected as a player.
Don had seen him play in junior college championship games, and about a year later, when he got a hold of him and he came down here, he was about 20 pounds overweight. Now here's a little old butterball when he came in the gym, and Don was real proud of him, and he was showing Mr. Mullins and the other coaches and the football coaches and the athletic director, and, you know, somebody picked him up. We were working out at the time, and he called Tony Harper and I over, and he said, "Here, show your stuff, fat boy," or whatever he said, and threw him the ball and asked us to come defense him. And I looked at Tony, and I said, "He's in street clothes, and here we are, you know, we're already warmed up, and little, you know, what can a guy do? It's, you know, he's short, dumpy, and he put a couple of moves on us, and it was unbelievable. He was at half court before we even could blink our eyes. And said, "Hey, 2 out of 3, let's do it again." And he worked both of us over. And that was when he was 20 pounds overweight.
Well, by the significance of the people around the nation seeing that 5 black ball players started a game, could play well together, could win a game, win a national championship, it opened the doors, and people realized that maybe they need to look at things differently than what they had been looking at them.
Bob McAdoo, who was a great player in the South in high school, and became an All-American, you know, in North Carolina, and became a most valuable player in the NBA, and 3-time NBA scoring champion, and just simply one of the greatest players ever, said to me when I got him, he came to Los Angeles in 1982, he said, "I remember that game, Coach." Bob was always kidding me. You know, he said, "I remember that game. You remember that 1966 game?" I said, "Yeah, I remember that game, Mac." He says, "That's the reason why I went to North Carolina." So I went to North Carolina because those guys kicked your butt, he said. And it made a big, big impression on me, because I don't think I would have gone to any school in the South prior to that.
It freed a lot of people up to do things. And not just black people, but white people up to do things, to go out and express themselves more, to get who they wanted to have in their programs, and to open up things. And it opened up educational outlet for a lot of people. Whereas the educational outlet in the past for blacks was kind of funneled to a few schools, now it opened up everything.
I think that, you know, because of our character and our personality and the things that we showed out there on the floor, opened the eyes of other institutions, coaches, that, hey, you know, there's a lot of good athletes out there. You know, let's give them a chance. Let's get them to come to our school. You know, it was just, you know, someone had to take the first step. It was not a step that was planned for. I definitely didn't think Coach Haskins was trying to be a pioneer. And I wonder how many other coaches wanted to make a move like that.
If people wanted to know how cultures, races, should interact with each other, they only had to come to that campus and spend a day, a week, a month with that basketball team, because we did a lot of things together. We looked past all of that. And we had people that hadn't seen black players until they got there. But we went past all of that. And I think a lot of that had to do with the mindset of Coach Haskins.
Well, he insisted on, he took the star attitude out. I mean, it was, you'll make the pass. You don't come down and jack up the shot. You make the passes. You hit the open man. You cut. You run your offense. And in doing that, in running your offense, you're involving everybody in the game. So it wasn't a one-man team. Bobby Joe might control the ball, bring it up the court, but he knew everybody needed to be alert because Bobby Joe was going to make his moves, and if you're the open man, he was going to hit you. And that was the encouragement that was given by Coach Haskins, but everybody bought into it. Everybody bought into it.
It was strange how well we got along. David Ladden and Bobby Joe was roommate, the odd couple. That was the odd couple. You know, one is loud, one is smooth. Cajun, myself, roommate, odd couple. One is sloppy, one is neat. You know, Bobby Joe and I was very close. You know, we was the little ones. We stuck together. Our biggest problem, we loved to eat. You know, and that was our biggest problem. But Flip, which is, you know, Togo, and all them guys, you know, we all hung out and played cards together.
I tell you this, if it hadn't been for Flip Bedoin, we probably wouldn't have won that game. And the reason why I say that is because, you know, Coach, doing the pregame stuff, he wanted us laying down, putting our game face on. And Louis Bedoin, he's a comedian anyway, and he cracked us up. We were loose all the time. So that made us play a lot better, especially that championship game. Because if it hadn't been for him, I don't think we would have won, because we would have probably been up too tight, because that's the way Coach would have wanted us to be, have our game face on.
Yeah, you know, it's very much like family. In fact, I'm closer to these guys than a lot of family. I have a lot of cousins I don't know anything about. I know all about these guys, and always will.
It's tremendous. It's great. And you see us today, but we look at each other as we were 40 years ago or whatever. And it's just when we get together, it's like we haven't been apart for 2 to 3 years. And you pick up on the same conversations. Shed's telling the same stories, but we laugh at them the same way. It's tremendous. It's really a camaraderie that is really there, and something we're going to live with for the rest of our lives.
I think I started learning from all the reporters over the years. You know, you would think they'd forget about one game, but 15 years later, 20 years later, NCAA time, and they all want to know about that game, asking pretty much the same questions. Why did you start 5 black guys? Why? And just like I've told you, started my best team.
You play basketball my way. My way's hard.
Hey, I'm Tim Hardaway, coach and GM on Florida Pit Bulls. You supposed to be like this and like that. You gotta play basketball.
I played for Coach Haskins when I went to Texas El Paso.
We not thinking. Set a screen. Set a screen. No foul, no foul, no foul. Oh! Hey!
Don Haskins, his practices were brutal. They were brutal, but You know, you learn from the practices. You learn. If you go hard in practice, it'd be easy for you to go hard in games. It was educational. I learned from it and all his practices because it prepared me for the NBA.
Y'all are gonna burn holes in your shoes today.
My freshman year, we lost to Washington. So we came back on a plane and coach told the trainer, tell the guys to meet us at the gym. Only thing he wanted us to understand was that we didn't play defense. We let people get past us. We let people shoot on us. We didn't play defense. The whole 3 hours was about defense. But I was at his calm period. I was at his, his really, really calm period. He had to watch out for his blood level.
I speak, you listen. You're here to learn fundamental, disciplined defensive basketball.
I don't think you can win in any sport unless defense comes first. Do the players like it that way? No. They don't like it that way. Defense is hard work. Shooting is fun.
Don Haskins was a tyrant. He was a general. Unbelievably strong personality.
We brought Don Haskins in from El Paso. He actually ran a practice for us and ran the practice for our actors.
Hold it! Now, start it again. No, you don't go straight back. You move with the ball. You look like a goose, you're looking, like this. Get deep enough in the floor so you can see everything. Now you're better. Stop, hold it just a second. Stop on that spot. All right, now throw it over here and let's move with the ball. No, we're not going to wave our arms around. Get in a stance.
Don Haskins expects his player to be the best, and so the way you make him the best is you train him the hardest. So he put him through a regimen every single day and drilled him. So when it comes to the fourth period, they're going to be as strong as they were in the first period because they're such conditioned athletes. And Don did know what it takes to become a champion, and that's hard work. He believed in defensive basketball, and that's what he drilled into his players.
If you're going to play for me, you're going to play defense.
We do not play defense standing up. Get your butt down.
You're going to have to move your feet. You're going to have to get to your man. You're going to have to stop him from getting to the basket. If you play good defense and everybody help on defense, we cause turnovers. We make people shoot bad shots. Man, we got to rebound. That's why we box out.
Give me a base. Come on, give me a base. Balls your feet. Get your arms.
First coaching job. I'd never been a coach before. So in practice, just coaching in practice, that's totally different. The reason why I'm playing coaching is because we want the ABA to be successful. We want fans to come in and watch a good game. From Don Haskins, I take his tenacity, his love for the game, his wanting to teach the ball player how to play the game the right way.
We give you sets so we can open shots. That's what the sets are for.
Being aggressive and being confident with your game. Don't never let nobody take your confidence away. Go out there and play your game, play it the right way, do the right thing. I could take his X's and his O's and his stories that he tells to get you up for the games. You had to agree with what he did because what he did was right for his team. He cared about his team more than he cared about himself. The only thing he wanted to do was win.
I don't want to hear can't or won't or coach, I'm bleeding. I don't want to hear anything except a basketball bounce.
I saw the movie Glory Road, and I just started writing the songs, sweet music. And I sat down on my piano, and there's songs that it's there and it's yours like a gift. This was one of those songs. I mean, it wrote itself. Check it out, yo. One of these days, I'm gonna wake up. Now I'm gonna feel fine. One of these days, I'm gonna wake up. And my dreams are gonna be mine. One of these days, this song is gonna be true. And the world is gonna be brand new. Yeah. It's gonna sound like music.
people outside this.
$50,000 young men and women applied to this academy. Only 1,207 of you were deemed worthy enough to pass through these gates. Most of you will not make it.
Because if you become officers, this is where they're gonna put your mistakes.
Do you understand me?
Sir, yes, sir!
At Annapolis, the toughest military academy in the nation.
Come on, you butterball, move it!
If you want to become a leader, you have to get past one man.
Attention on deck. Midshipman Lieutenant Cole.
All of you here came straight from high school. Before I got here, I served 3 years in the Marines. I know exactly what it takes to really become an officer. And I will accept nothing less from you.
And for first-year recruit Jake Heward, becoming an officer was the only thing that mattered.
I'm trying to figure out why a congressman would give a nomination to someone like you.
They didn't want to give it to me at first. I had to go back a couple times.
How many?
34 straight days. Hi, I'm going to the Naval Academy.
You are?
Maybe I'll give you a tour.
I would love that.
Get that rifle up!
You look surprised, Plebe Heward.
Ma'am, yes, ma'am.
A drop and give me 20.
Aye, ma'am.
Now,
you're 4 seconds over.
It's 4 seconds.
Where others see only a rebel.
You got a problem with the way this company's being run. You want to hit me, Heward?
One officer sees something of himself.
Why are you here, Heward?
To serve my country, sir.
And he'll stop at nothing to bring out the best in him.
Why are you so tough on him?
Because I believe in him. And I can make him a leader.
Touchstone Pictures presents the place where heroes are made and legends are born.
Somebody get a medic!
James Franco, Tyrese Gibson, Jordana Brewster. Annapolis.
You ain't good enough.
I'm not quitting.
Every day, I break the law of gravity. And sometimes, other laws get broken in the process.
Let's get out of here!
If I was lucky, I would have gotten sentenced to juvie. Instead, I got sent back to the world I thought I'd escaped forever. Welcome to the Vickerman Gymnastics Academy.
What is she doing here?
Why all the hate? When you walk out on finals and lose Team USA some team gold, it's not personal, it's national.
Haley Graham has come out of retirement to train with us.
You've really gotten skinny, fat.
Oh, goody.
Jealous, Haley?
Can you tell Joanne that I'm gonna do a real dismount?
Haley's gonna do a real dismount.
Put down the phone.
And we work one way around here. That's my way. Or we can call the judge. You decide.
Way to build trust.
I couldn't resist.
Can you imagine making it all the way to finals and walking out? It's totally insane.
That was for finals.
Are you kidding me? It's not called gymnastics.
The IG Classic, it's coming up in a couple of weeks. This could be your last chance to turn your life around.
If you think that I'm getting on this competition floor with some stupid cookie-cutter routine, you are seriously senile.
You gonna hurt yourself?
Probably.
Just don't get blood on the equipment.
Okay, guys, let it rip. All right. If you're gonna eat Matt, you eat Matt hard.
Come on, get in the truck.
You know voice?
I'm so shaking things.
Call me.
Stalk you. Dude, how do we not know about this sport?
Stick it. I think you should get back on the tramp again. I mean, just to make sure you still suck.